A little mid-afternoon special here at Miller Park today. Saturday afternoon baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And this afternoon it is the Brew Crew and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game 2 of this 3-game series. The Brewers winning a thriller last night, and now they'll give the ball to Mike Fiers, trying for a series win for the first time in over a month. He'll match up against left-hander Jeff Locke. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Great to have you with us today. Brewers won a beautiful ball game last night. Got great pitching from Marco Estrada. And now it's going to be Mike Fiers. And he's an interesting story because he began the year in the starting rotation, lost that job, went back to the minor leagues, and now here he is again.
And you don't know how long he's going to be able to last. You know, he made 4 starts in the minor leagues and then got called up. And since May 12th, his longest outing, only 2 innings. He's going to have to be efficient in his pitch count today to be able to go at least 5 innings for Ron Renneke. And that's going to be important to save that bullpen already short with the injury to Henderson. He's no stranger to success. Last year in his first 16 starts, Mike Fiers had a 288 earned run average. The curveball, the changeup has to be big pitches for him today.
Well, he made just 1 start. That was earlier in the season. Immediately sent back to the bullpen and ultimately to the minor leagues. He's also pitching with a heavy heart. His mother is dealing with a serious illness, lupus, so he pitches with her on his mind tonight. And you got a couple of guys in Fiers and Locke trying to make a name for themselves in the major leagues. How good is the bullpen? It has been terrific. And when we come back, Craig Cashon and Jerry Augustine will talk about closing the door, which they did last night. Stay with us.
Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Toyota, let's go places. Looks a lot warmer than it is here in Milwaukee. Temperatures in the low 50s. We have the roof closed over here at Miller Park. Mike Fiers set to toss and make the start here today for the Milwaukee Brewers. And the bullpen situation a little bit up in the air today. That's because Jim Henderson had to leave yesterday's game with a right hamstring pull. He's being evaluated this afternoon by Dr. William Ross to determine how long he will be out. But Augie, it happened on the pitch yesterday.
What's a quick burst? The push-off leg, the right leg is his push-off leg, a quick burst like that. That's usually when it does happen. Kind of unusual, but did happen.
Well, he was in the midst of a very strong performance by the bullpen again, but yesterday, Kinsler, Gonzalez, K-Rod all chipping in, and that bullpen has been nearly untouchable the last 17 games.
Well, that's the versatility. This is a good, strong bullpen, but you have to look at the versatility. They have guys out there who can close and pitch in a lot of different situations. This is what this ball club has, a good, solid bullpen, and it comes because of the versatility.
Now, K-Rod got the save in last night's game, and Go-Go ready for Pittsburgh starter Jeff Locke. Game 2, first pitch is on the way as we turn it back over to B.A. and Rock here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Major League Baseball and Central Division rivals today as Mike Fiers leads the Brewers out onto the field here at Miller Park on a cool Saturday afternoon. And a good crowd filing in here today. Should be hopping. Let's see if the Brewers can put together back-to-back wins for the first time in a long time, almost a month as a matter of fact. Clint Hurdle and the Pirates going along very well right now. They are 10 games over 500 coming into play today. 2.5 games back in the Central Division to the Cardinals. Pittsburgh at 29-19. Hurdle's Piggly Wiggly batting order today. Starling Marte leads off. Travis Snyder, then Andrew McCutchen. In the middle of the order, it's Garrett Jones getting the call at first base. Russell Martin does the catching, then Neil Walker, the switch hitter. And the bottom three, Pedro Alvarez, Clint Barmas, and the talented young left-hander, Jeff Locke.
And Mike Fiers on the mound, making his second start of the season, 9th appearance overall. Career for Fiers is 24th start. He's 5-7, and this is the 4th time that he's made a start against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he's 1-2 career. Making a start for Kyle Lohse here this afternoon.
And Lohse out with elbow tightness. Fiers has some good memories pitching against the Pirates. As a matter of fact, in his last start against Pittsburgh, which came on August 24th of last year, he had a 10 strikeout performance in 6 2/3 innings. Fiers had a great start to his season last season once he was called up in late May, and hoping to capture some of that magic again as you take a look at the Menards Brewers defense. Braun, Gomez, and Aoki. Ramirez, Segura, Weeks, and Gonzalez. And Lucroy does the catching tonight. So Mike Fiers ready to go. You see that pink necklace that he's wearing, that magnetic necklace. Thinking about his mother today, Linda. His mother is dealing with complications due to lupus. I know she's watching. She said she was looking forward to this start and watching Mike on the computer. So let's hope Mike has a great day for her. And his first pitch of the ball game is in there. Strike one, and away we go on a Saturday afternoon. Starling Marte leading it off and has been one of the top leadoff hitters in the game. Little jam shot that is foul, and it's quickly 0-2 on Marte.
Man, Marte, one of the better hitters with respect to home and road. When he's on the road, hitting .341. That's good for 7th in the National League. So Marte and the Pirates off to a good start this year. 10 games over 500.
Well, in Pittsburgh, they feel finally has their leadoff hitter, their established guy. He's in there every day. He's a great defender as well, as you look at his home road splits. And right off the end of the bat, Fiers gets a lot of those when he's right, and that's a good way to get it started today.
Well, Mike Fiers has a pretty standard delivery until he gets to about right here. He hides the baseball pretty well. The glove hand comes up. The ball side, the ball hand goes down, and because of that, he hides the ball behind his back, and hitters will tell you that it's very difficult to pick it up.
Very unorthodox pitching motion there, Mike Fiers, and one of the reasons why he's so successful, and another reason sometimes he can get out of kilter as well and struggle with his command. Pitch count is going to be the story today for Fiers as he deals strike one to Travis Schneider. As Rock mentioned in our open, Fiers has not been starting since coming back from the minor leagues, and he was pitching out of the bullpen for this month of May. Hasn't pitched more than 2 innings since an outing he had in Cincinnati on the 12th of May. So even though he's been a starter this year, he made 4 starts in the minor leagues to go along with 1 start in the major leagues back on April 6th. He is not quite stretched out. There's another little tapper, and Fiers makes the play. So 2 off the end of the bat to start the day.
Yep, 2 off-speed pitches. That's his bread and butter. That's why he was able to average over a strikeout per innings pitched last year. Not because he throws all that hard, but because he has very good command of curveball and changeup.
Andrew McCutchen now with 2 away. McCutchen with some pretty gaudy career numbers against Mike Fiers. This is the one nemesis hitter for Fiers in this lineup today. You see his overall numbers: 6 homers, 25 ribbies. McCutchen is 5 for 9 lifetime against Fiers, and 3 of those 5 hits are home runs against him, including a game winner in Pittsburgh, a walk-off home run back on the 16th of May. That came in the 12th inning. But McCutchen is a nemesis hitter for a lot of guys. And he rips out one left field. That ball's got a chance, and it is off the top of the wall and out. McCutchen's home run in Pittsburgh to win the game was off the top of the wall and out, and the same fate here today. And something about Mike Fiers that Andrew McCutchen likes. The Pirates are on the board first.
Man, that guy can buggy whip a fastball with the best of them. I mean, very quick hands and very good on the inner half. Lucroy setting up away. It ends up middle in, and McCutchen is not going to miss too many pitches in that spot right there. Inner half, straight as a string, and he hits a line drive bullet on out of here.
Another inch or 2, and it stays in the ballpark. Now McCutchen now with 7 home runs gives him 26 runs batted in. He is on a torrid streak at the plate. Garrett Jones in the starting lineup today, playing first base. He and Gabby Sanchez splitting time over at first base. Sanchez last night was 1 out of 4, and Jones did appear as a pinch hitter in last night's game. He drew a walk, but he gets to start here today, and Fiers strikes him out on 3 straight. So a solo home run to McCutchen. The Pirates are on the board. The Brewers are coming up. Club can turn in back-to-back wins and win a series for the first time since they won a series from the Pirates a month ago. Nori Aoki ready to lead off once again. The rest of the Piggly Wiggly batting order got Aoki, Segura, and Braun. Ramirez, Lucroy, and Gomez in the middle of the order, and Renicky has Ricky Weeks back at second base today with Gonzalez and Fiers rounding it out.
And on the mound, left-hander Jeff Locke off to a tremendous start this year, making his 10th start, a 4-and-1 record, a very good earned run average. 25 years old, out of Center Conway, North New Hampshire, making his 3rd career start against the Brewers tonight.
Now Locke has had a great year, and he's coming off a terrific start against the Astros his last time out. A 2.73 earned run average. This is his 3rd season in the big leagues, but his first full season where he knew out of spring training he'll have a spot in the starting rotation, and he is making the most of it. Just 25 years of age. Second matchup against the Brewers as he deals strike 1 to Nori Aoki. Aoki has been a hot hitter for Milwaukee, hitting .413 over his last 20 games. That is a significant stretch of ball games. And Aoki's been able to maintain a batting average over .400, which has raised his overall average from .247 to .322 tonight.
Amazing. And doesn't mind him to face left-handed pitchers. He's been very good against lefties this year.
Aoki hitting .364 against lefties. 24 hits, 66 at bats for Aoki. And the Brewers as a team, this is one of those interesting statistical phenomenons here. They're swinging the bat well against left-handed pitching statistically. They've got some top hitters like Braun and Aoki, Carlos Gomez. But as a team, the Brewers' record against left-handed starters is just 4-15.
Yeah, 11 games under .500.
Bouncing ball off the end of Locke's glove out to Barmas. And he takes care of Aoki for out number 1.
Man, let's check out the Menards defense for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Different on the corners today. Pedro Alvarez, the left-handed hitter, over at third base. Another lefty, Garrett Jones at first. Both of those guys had the game off yesterday. Your Menards Pirates defense.
Well, let's give you a taste of Jeff Locke in his last start. This was at home against the Astros, and 7 shutout innings for Locke. He had a 7 shutout inning performance against the Cardinals in late April, but that was one of his better games. And he is coming off a win, which was his first win in the month of May against Houston, his last time out.
Yep, a free swinging ball club, the Houston Astros, and Jeff Locke changeup plays right into his hands. The guys had go up there and try and swing for home runs. Brewers going to have to be patient, put a good approach on them, and take them to the opposite field.
Jean Segura, one of the top young hitters in the league, against one of the top young pitchers out of the gates this year in Locke. This will be a great matchup today. Segura hitting .348, starting play today, has 7 homers. He's currently second in the National League in batting. Joey Votto is the league leader at .361. And then there is Segura. And then another shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki of the Rockies, third in the league. Segura made a play last night. Just adding another one to the highlight reel. He just continues to impress offensively and defensively. And made a play last night that was probably a game saver for the Brewers with Estrada on the mound.
Man, it certainly saved the run for Mark when the Brewers back in the 7th inning last night and got the lead runner. So it's good baseball instincts out there defensively, and impressive for a guy that hasn't been playing shortstop all that long.
Well, Jean Segura has some history against Jeff Locke. Took him deep, and that, at this point in the season, is the only full home run for Segura this year. That came back on the 14th of May. All of his other home runs to center field or right field, and he was able to turn one around on Jeff Locke. Locke goes away from him that time and strikes him out.
And Locke with very good command, not what you would call a strikeout pitcher, only his 33rd strikeout in a little over 53 innings of work. Go along with 22 walks. He's only allowed 39 hits and only 5 home runs. So this guy off to a pretty good start.
He's showing great command. He just found a new gear last year. He has spent the last 2 seasons pitching in AAA. Last year, Jeff Locke finished 10-5 in AAA Indianapolis. Had a .248 earned run average. He spent most of the season down there. Well, Ryan Braun, he's another guy that's had a lot of success against left-handed pitching this season. Braun hitting .391. And only the Pirates' Starling Marte has a higher batting average against lefties this year in the National League. Braun comes in with a .314 average, 9th in the league. Took the collar yesterday, had a couple of strikeouts, but had a hit robbed from him in that game yesterday.
He hit the ball hard a couple of times, and just continues to put a good approach on the baseball.
Those are the numbers against left-handed pitching this season. Braun's always been able to hit lefties. He's always been able to hit anyone, but especially left-handers.
How about Carlos Gonzalez, a left-handed batter on that list?
Braun down the right field line. That is going to fall, a base hit. Braun thinking about 2. He's going to challenge the arm, and the throw comes in, gets away from Varmus, and Braun fortunate. That's a hustle double. Snyder has a good arm, but that wasn't the best throw he's ever made.
Well, he knew he had to get rid of it quickly and really didn't have a chance to set himself, and tried to get it in the area. The ball took a funny hop on Varmus, but look at Ryan Braun, inside out stroke, and just slices it down that right field line. You can see how deep Snyder's playing with 2 outs. That's why he's able to get there so quickly. A good risk to take. Nobody on, 2 outs. You try and get into scoring position.
So double number 11 for Ryan Braun, and he's there with 2 gone and Aramis Ramirez coming up. Now Ramirez back in the starting lineup. He's continued to keep his batting average up. Comes in hitting .339. Doesn't have enough plate appearances just yet to register among league leaders. He would be 3rd in the league if he had enough plate appearances at this point. Ramirez walked a couple of times yesterday, was 0 for 1. He scored a run as well.
Ramirez seems to be moving around a little bit better on that knee. Made a terrific play coming in at third base yesterday, and when he has to, he can stretch it out a little bit on the bases. Brewers told him to be cautious.
I was talking to him before the game about his skip rope yesterday as he jumped out of the way of a Carlos Gomez line drive, and he said the ball just kept slicing, and he said, you know, I couldn't get away from it. It just kept tracking me. So at the last moment he sucked it in and went right in front of him, right across his belt, and then he had to find another gear because he knew Gomez was hot on his heels. So Ramirez ended up at third base and Gomez with a double. And he was pleased at how the knee responded yesterday when he had to find it. And that's kind of what the Brewers have been waiting for. You know, when instincts take over and you've got to push it and run. And it didn't bother him at all. He said it responded well. It felt good when he got to third base, and that gives him a little more confidence moving forward.
Well, and that's why the Brewers have tried to give him some days off, play 2, get a day off, and sooner or later he's going to be pretty close to 100%. Not quite yet.
Well, Ramirez out to Barmes, got jammed, and that's going to do it for the Brewers in the first. So Locke works a scoreless first inning, 1-0 Pittsburgh. We go to the second. Estrada was the star last night. He went 7 strong innings for the Brewers in last night's game, picking up his second win against the Pirates. And our head and shoulders whiff. Marco Estrada last night had 8 strikeouts. Plenty of whiff opportunities. He had a great changeup last night.
And curveball was very good as well, and no walks for Marco. And for the 3rd consecutive start, Estrada has not allowed a home run. And early on, that was an issue for him.
Well, the Brewers have had a tough time with their starting pitching getting deep into ball games. As a matter of fact, last night was just the 8th time this year that a Brewer starter had gone 7. And Estrada has 3 of those, and his last 2 have come against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it was a good night last night for the Brewers. Little tapper to the mound. And Fires will make the play on Russell Martin for out number 1. Well, we bring in the 3rd member of our team, Sophia Minnaert. And Sophia, Jim Henderson went down last night. Has there been any updates on the big closer?
Well, Jim Henderson, of course, went out with 1 out away from his 10th save of the season. He strained his right hamstring. You see it here, pushing off on the pitch, went down in a heap, could not go the rest of the way, so Frankie Rodriguez had to come in for the final out. Now, he was supposed to see the team physician, Dr. William Roche, today to determine the severity of the injury, just how long he would be out. He told me he was feeling very tight, very sore, even consulted with Carlos Gomez, who said, yep, you'll be feeling that way for a few days, pal. It's an injury he's never dealt with before, so he was waiting to see what the doctor said in terms of a timetable for his return.
All right, thanks, Sophia. And that could determine what Ron Renicky does moving forward concerning Tuesday, especially because at this moment, the Brewers are planning on starting Alfredo Figaro, but because of Henderson's injury, that is not a guarantee. You might need Figaro back in the bullpen if Henderson does, in fact, have to go on the DL, or if he is not going to be available for a few days. And then you might have to go into the minor leagues to find a starter. So the Brewers have some challenges here. I think they feel good about their bullpen rock, and especially with K-Rod now here, another pitcher who has closing experience. But that's a tough injury, and that win yesterday comes at a price.
And those things, those hamstrings, the groin injuries have a way of lingering if you don't take care of them right away. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with Henderson. I guess tomorrow is going to be an important day if they don't DL him right away. But Brewers already short-handed down in that bullpen without him. Gorzelani, he's not able to throw all that much, just still recovering from that shoulder issue. And Tuesday is a long ways away. We'll see what happens. Don't have to worry about Tuesday when Tuesday comes.
Yep, absolutely. And you think about what the Brewers have had to endure just on this homestand. First it was Kyle Lohse, and today was his day to start. Elbow tightness, unable to go today. He's hoping to come back on Thursday. Lohse would pitch against his old team in Minnesota on Thursday if all goes according to plan. And then Hiram Burgos was placed on the disabled list, so that created that vacancy on Tuesday. And then of course last night Jim Henderson certainly not available. Pedro Alvarez for the Pirates.
And apparently he felt that pull right when he got rid of the baseball, right at the point where he released the baseball on the pitch, and the back leg, that right leg, unusual. You would think would be the stretch leg, the land leg that you would stretch out, but not the case.
Well, leg injuries and pitchers are not a great combination, because then you always worry about the arm injury after. But you can see the right leg, the push off leg, and how much force he generates.
Watch where he grabs right away, even before the ball gets there. So that leads you to believe that it happened not when he tried to make the play, but when he released the baseball.
Alvarez lines one foul in the seats. Well, Henderson was just an out away from his 10th save. Ron Renicky called on Francisco Rodriguez, and K-Rod threw just 2 pitches to earn the save. It was his first of the year, and career save number 295 for K-Rod. He is 25th all-time on the all-time saves leaderboard. So you got a capable closer in Francisco Rodriguez. Certainly John Axford is available in that role. Michael Gonzalez has been a closer in the big leagues. But Henderson was the guy who was most effective. Three and one on Alvarez with a runner at first. Runner goes, and Alvarez rips one deep to right, and that ball is gone. A 2-run home run for Alvarez. And the Pirates are banging away today on Mike Fiers. 3-0. And the second home run for the Buccos today.
And both home runs coming on fastballs, both of them in. First on McCutchen, this one on Alvarez, and line drive bullets right down the lines. And Mike Fiers can't afford to put himself in a fastball count. Missed his spot, was supposed to be away, and threw it on the inner half, just like McCutchen. Missed his spot with a fastball, and they ended up out of the ballpark.
Home run number 9 for Alvarez. And now 3-0 for Clint Barmas, who takes a strike. Pittsburgh can bang with the best of them. And when you consider the ballpark that they play in, they're sitting in the top 5 in the National League in home runs, but they play in a very pitcher-friendly park. They get a lot of home runs taken away from them there. I think you could make the argument that they have as much power throughout their lineup as any team in the National League. Barmas down on strikes. Number 2 for Mike Fiers.
Hey, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers host the Minnesota Twins on Monday and Tuesday. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com. Monday is also Military Day at the ballpark. Brewers are going to break out some camo jerseys and caps. Pretty cool looking caps, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we got a sneak preview of the caps. Tony Migliaccio, the Brewers equipment manager, gave us a couple to use as props.
Right.
There's no guarantee these are going to be returned to Tony. Safe to say.
I got a couple of soldiers, kids that are going to look good on their heads.
But these are really cool, man. These every major league team's going to wear these on Monday, and the jerseys as well. And so after the game, these are a one-time only deal. They're going to authenticate them, the hats and the jerseys, and then they'll go up for auction. And all of that money is going to generate help for military families. And so that's a great cause. Major League Baseball is all in, and what a great Memorial Day it will be. And don't forget, that's a 1:10 first pitch Monday, Memorial Day. We'll be on the air at 12:30. So back-to-back 1:10 start times tomorrow and Monday. A swing and a miss, and it's 2-2 on Locke. Pedro Alvarez, a 2-run homer to give the Pirates a 3-0 lead. McCutchen homered in the first. And Locke pops this one up. Aramis Ramirez in foul territory. He's got it, and Fiers is through the second, but not before Alvarez goes deep for the 9th time this year. 3-zip Bucks.
All-Star voting update. Now, Brewers fans encouraged to head to Brewers.com and vote for your favorite Brewers to the 2013 All-Star Game. Now, Corey Hart is on that list. He, of course, is still rehabbing that right knee. Told me today that he's feeling like a more mature giraffe, Brian, after initially feeling like a baby giraffe running on the field for the first time. He told me right now he's feeling good running, but pushing off and backing up are what are giving him some issues right now, but he's still eyeing a hopeful early June return.
Nice. I like it. A more mature giraffe. That's all we can hope for out of Corey Hart.
Does a giraffe go backwards?
Just their hinges.
I've watched a lot of nature shows. I've never seen a giraffe go backwards.
Right. That's right. Well, Corey Hart was taking ground balls again today and continues the process. He's eligible to return May 30th. That's when the 60-day DL expires for Corey Hart. And it is going to be interesting to see how many games it'll take him in the minor leagues to feel comfortable. He has not had any live pitching to face. And he didn't really need it last year. He missed all of spring training, came out swinging the bat well. So we'll see how it goes for Hart. But the Brewers are anxious to get him back.
Yeah, stick him in the middle of that batting order, and you get Ramirez and Hart in there on an everyday basis. It's going to be a while. It's going to take some time before Corey's able to play every day.
And you get a 6'6" first baseman as well, which infielders love. And Hart proved himself to be a very good first baseman last year. I don't think anybody expected him to be that good of a defender, but he was above average. Matter of fact, Garth Ord said he has Gold Glove potential at first base.
Yeah, making those diving plays down the line and in the hole and picking those short hops over at first base. That was surprising.
Lucroy takes a ball inside.
Luke thought he was struck out.
That was a pitch that Locke didn't have early in his start in Pittsburgh and then found eventually, and that's when he just locked down the Brewers, that inside corner.
That's Jonathan. Yep, I'm going to take a step. Yep, you got me.
And Lucroy into right field. Snyder is there for the out. Got him anyway.
Everybody but the home plate umpire thought that was a strike, including Lucroy.
Talking about Locke, and he was originally with the Atlanta Braves. He signed out of high school. Drafted in the second round in '06 by the Braves out of New Hampshire, as Rock mentioned. And he was part of the Nate McLouth trade in '09. June of '09, the Braves sent the 21-year-old single-A left-handed pitcher to the Pirates for Nate McLouth. McLouth really struggled as a Brave. And now Locke has emerged as a real find for Pittsburgh, as he deals a strike to Gomez.
And he throws 90-91 and not afraid to come inside. Keep Giannis inside. That opens up that outside corner for his changeup.
Gomez had 3 hits in that Locke game in Pittsburgh. Was 3 for 5 that day. And Gomez, in the same fashion of Andrew McCutchen, it's tough to get a fastball by him on the inside corner. There's very quick hands. And they're coming in there. And Gomez lays off. 2-2.
That's ordinarily a pitch that Gomez is going to be able to get a pretty good swing at, probably looking away. You can look outside and prepare outside and still be quick enough to get a bat on a baseball on the inside part of the plate. But if you look inside and you quicken yourself up, you got no chance on a pitch away. Most hitters are going to do that. They're going to look away and react inside.
Russell Martin putting the signals down, wanting the change up, and Gomez able to lay off. So he takes the change up. Gomez draws the walk, and the Brewers have their second base runner against Locke.
And that's a nice patient at bat by Gomez. Locke got ahead of him and then tried to get him to chase. He didn't do it.
Gomez always a threat to steal. We'll see how active the Brewers will be today. You got a left-hander with a good move on the mound, and of course Martin throws the ball well behind the plate. So that can be a tough combination for the Brewers.
Especially when you're down 3-0, you don't want to be making outs on the bases.
Ricky Weeks now. And he lines one to right field, a base hit. Ricky Weeks not wasting any time, a single to right. Ricky played the hunch, getting Weeks in the starting lineup today with the left-hander on the mound. And it pays off early for him.
In the last 2 games, Ricky Weeks did not start, gets a start today, and responds with a hard hit baseball into right. You saw Neil Walker shading him up the middle in double play depth, and Ricky Weeks continues a good start to the inning for Milwaukee.
So 2 on with 1 away. And here is Alex Gonzalez, who had the big hit last night off A.J. Burnett. Had a first pitch breaking ball, and he slapped one into the gap in left center in a 2 RBI double. And that's all the Brewers would get, and turns out that's all they'd need last night. That was a 2nd inning 2 RBI double by Alex Gonzalez.
And for the 2nd time this year, they beat A.J. Burnett. Going to be tough for Gomez to get any kind of a jump, particularly where Neil Walker is playing. I mean, he's playing like he's holding him on first base.
Well, Martin is calling Walker in. They must be wanting to change the signs here. Well, this was the big hit last night. Burnett tried to get one over. Wasn't a bad pitch, but Gonzalez was ready for it. And he drove in Ramirez and Gomez. First 2 runs of the ball game. The Pirates scored in the 7th to make it 2-1, and that's how the game would end.
First pitch slider, and Gonzalez hit it hard.
There were only 9 hits combined in the game last night. Pittsburgh out-hit the Brewers 5-4. Marco Estrada went 7. Kinsler and Gonzalez combined to work a scoreless 8th, and then Henderson and K-Rod to finish the game off. Henderson leaving with the injury. That one's on the inside corner. That's, I would say, just watching Locke in his last start against a right-handed dominant lineup like the Brewers have. That's a pitch that could change his whole outlook today.
Yeah, well, he didn't do that in Pittsburgh. And he stayed predominantly away. But left-hander that doesn't throw hard needs to be able to pitch inside effectively.
Well, Gonzalez chasing a breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2 the count.
You make hitters aware of inside, and as we talked about, it really opens up the outside corner with the off speed. There's that slider. He'll throw one of those from time to time, a curveball and a changeup to go along with the fastball. But if you don't throw it for strikes inside, hitters aren't going to pay much attention to it. You keep missing in, forget about it, just keep leaning out over the plate. But Locke has been able to find that corner.
2 on, 1 out. Brewers looking for a big hit from Gonzalez again. And the 1-2 pitch is in there for a called strike 3. Surprised him. Went to that same spot, and Gonzalez got caught guessing. Out number 2.
And that one looked like it got plenty of the plate. Gonzalez probably looking for a changeup or maybe another curveball in that inner half. And Gonzalez knew it.
So now Locke will have the pitcher Mike Fiers with 2 outs and 2 on. Fiers has just 3 at-bats in the big leagues this season. He's 0 for 3. Fiers had just 3 hits in his entire career. .3 for 35 career, but he does have 2 RBIs. and he's a pretty decent bunter, but he's not much of a hitter.
Good job staying positive. Well done.
Just kind of setting up.
Sliding it on in there.
Setting up the moment, his moment. The 0-2 pitch. I worked with Estrada last night. I figured we'd give it another try.
Right. He did get a base hit last night. You're right.
A little reverse psychology, Rock. We got Gomez at second, Weeks over at first, a walk and a single. And Gomez takes off and fouls it away. Gomez got a walking start right there. Locke paying no attention to him. You never know, you may get a throw and get an errant throw. You might be able to steal a run.
Yeah. Ball gets by Russell Martin, maybe get a cheap run. You never know. If they're going to give it to you, just take it. Why not?
Yeah, you have to know you're going to make it. Certainly Gomez would have, probably without a throw. Another 1-2. Fires, strikes out, and the side is retired. So Locke with 2 scoreless. Brewers have a couple of hits. Pirates lead 3-0.
Third inning, Mike Fiers hoping to enjoy some of the same defense that Marco Estrada saw last night. The Brewers came up with a handful of great... Yeah, the Brewers came up with a handful of defensive plays, and on our AT&T Twitter poll today, we are asking fans which Brewers defensive play was most important last night. Was it the Aramis Ramirez barehander in the 8th? Gene Segura 2 force-out plays in the 7th and the 9th, or Alex Gonzalez getting the line out to end the 8th inning. So fans can tweet us at FS Wisconsin with their thoughts, Brian.
All right, Sophia. Hey,
nice
good job.
Yeah,
that was pro right there.
Yeah, gets a ball coming in there, drops the microphone, and it continues with the hit. Well done, Sophia.
Do I get kudos for that defensive play?
Are you wounded at all?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
She's okay. She's going to be okay.
That's a pro.
That was outstanding.
They're throwing everything at her these days, early on, right?
Check it out, Sophia. We have visual proof. No. Here it comes. Stand by. Oh, gosh.
Goodness. You all right?
I'm good.
All right, good. That could have been very scary.
Who threw the baseball?
Well, it had to be one of the middle infielders, I'm guessing.
It was one of those guys, huh? All right.
Shoes off the athletic trainer. I love it. No trainer necessary. That's one tough girl right there, Sophia, by the way. If you don't know, she's the daughter of a football coach.
All right, man.
And I'm glad that didn't do some damage, but that was impressive how she kept going.
Yeah.
Fires a 3-2 count on Marte. I'm going to have Sophia repeat everything she just said, though, because I stopped listening.
Yeah, we were talking about, she was talking about the great defensive plays last night. Which one was the best?
I was concerned for her well-being. There's a bounce to the third, in and out of the glove of Ramirez. So, yes, the defense was great last night. Ramirez has that one pop right out of his glove.
Yeah, previous 6 games, the Brewers only committed 1 error. And very good defensively last night all the way around. This might be one of the best plays you'll see. How quickly he gets rid of it, and on its way to second base, Ramirez makes this play extremely well. And this line drive caught by Gonzalez ended a threat by the Pirates. So good defense, good pitching, and the Brewers able to win a 2-1 ball game.
Still no official score on that play by Ramirez. It's a leadoff base runner in the 3rd inning. Travis Snider, who bounced back to the mound his first time up. Important for Fiers to put up a 0 here. The Pirates have 3 on the board. McCutchen homered in the 1st, and then a 2-run shot by Alvarez last inning. There goes Marte. Lucroy from his knees, no chance. That ball's into center field. And that's going to be a throwing error on Lucroy. So the defense a little porous here in this 3rd inning, and now Marte at 3rd base with nobody out.
Well, he reaches on an error, a stolen base, and an E2. So we talked about good defense today, and Brewers throwing it around a little bit here early going.
So and actually another error has been posted on the board. So the official scoring on Marte reaching is an E5, and then an E2 on Lucroy. 2 errors in the inning has the Pirates threatening for more with nobody out in the 3rd, forcing the Brewers to bring their infield in. Alfredo Figueroa starting to get loose, and that's probably a good understanding of what the Brewers are thinking about for next week, because he was supposed to start on Tuesday as Snider strikes out. That's a big one for Fiers.
And Figueroa getting loose because Fiers at 43 pitches, and since his call up, the most pitches he's thrown in an outing has been 28. And it's tough to go from 28 to 80 or 90. Fastball seems like right down the middle, and Travis Snider swings right through it.
Well, here is McCutchen now, who homered his last time up and has homered off Mike Fiers in his last 3 at-bats against Fiers. Brewers put a dramatic infield shift on for McCutchen with 3 infielders all playing in on the left side of the infield. That's an unusual one.
Yeah, you see Gonzalez. I mean, the further you are off the line, the more shallow you have to play, because if you go deep, you can't get there on a ground ball.
Big cut and a miss by McCutchen. McCutchen hit one off the top of the left field fence. Hit right on the top yellow line and then bounced out. It carried him forward for a home run.
And pitching around this guy might not be a bad idea. You got the left-hander coming up, although you did strike him out his first time. Maybe better double play candidate. And Andrew McCutchen hits very well against Fiers. Be careful.
3 balls and a strike. McCutchen now 6 for 10 against Fiers, now 4 homers. Couple of errors, has a runner at third base with 1 out. And a 3-1 pitch, curveball, strike, 3-2. There's Marte with great speed. Won't take much to get him in. You know, if you're McCutchen at the plate, you've just hit a fastball over the fence, and he certainly knows that the Brewers are pitching around him. Wonder if he's looking for the breaking ball here. And a swing and a foul tip into the middle. Lucroy, a strikeout.
Yeah, gave him changeup. I don't blame him. Don't give him a fastball there. So curveball on 3-1, changeup on 3-2, back-to-back strikeouts for Fiers, and he's nearly out of this mess. Lucroy catches that baseball just before it hits the dirt and gets the strikeout. There's your changeup grip, and McCutchen over the top.
2 gone, back-to-back Ks. Our Carsoup.com email the booth question: is it hard for a pitcher to bounce between the majors and the minors? That comes from Lenny in lacrosse, and that's just the nature of the business for a guy like Mike Fiers, and he's certainly glad to be here.
It's better to go bouncing back and forth than to stay down in the minors.
Yeah, the back is better than the forth.
Right.
Jones pulls it foul, and it's 0-2. Look out, Sophia. She's a ball magnet today.
She needs to hide behind Woody down there.
That's right. That ball was a liner right into the seats.
Yeah, that baseball lined right off the top of that guardrail down there and skipped into the seats, and that probably got somebody pretty good.
No balls, 2 strikes on Garrett Jones. Fiers has a chance to strike out the side with a runner at third. Starting with nobody out. Can he do it? The 0-2, and Jones rips one center field. Back is Gomez. He's got it. Hit it like a poet, but Fiers gets out of it. What an inning for him. Couple of errors, but no runs. Market of Fox Sports Wisconsin by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. Your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. The geodesic domes in Milwaukee, not too far from Miller Park. Got a nice moment here between innings. Jones hit that line drive foul ball and hit a young fan. And Garrett went over there and signed a ball for him. And class move by the Pirates first baseman. I'm sure that made that young man feel better.
Yeah, can't do anything about it. I mean, as a player, but that gets to you. You hit somebody like that. That's just the risk that you take sitting that close. And well, as close as the stands are to the fields these days, surprising that doesn't happen more often. I mean, with a line drive like that, even when you're watching, it's tough to get out of the way.
There's Nori Aoki to start the bottom of the third. Brewers down 3-0. Well, how about the job of Mike Fiers to get through a mess last inning?
Yeah, in the heart of that order. 2, 3, 4, able to get a couple of strikeouts and a fly ball.
Ball and a strike on Aoki. Locke misses away. Pirates had a runner at third base with nobody out. Marte reached on an error. He stole second, went to third on an error. And that could be a turning point if the Brewers come back today. Aoki drops a bunt down. Locke got to hurry. The throw is just in time to get Aoki. Very good play by Jeff Locke coming off the mound.
And a very accurate and strong throw over to first base. Aoki able to deaden that baseball pretty well. He hit a little bit too hard, but Locke able to get him by half a step. Pretty close. Aoki looking for yet another infield hit.
We saw Garrett Jones' foot right on top of the base. And that's what sent Aoki tumbling at first. So one gone, and here is Jean Segura now. Powerball home run leaderboard for the Brewers starting play today. Braun hit number 9 against the Dodgers on Wednesday. Segura with 7, one of those coming against Jeff Locke in Pittsburgh. Segura into right. Snyder is there. Out number 2 for Locke. Jeff Locke was rolling through the minor leagues and wasn't dominating hitters, but he always had great command, and his strikeout to walk ratio throughout his minor league career is a little less than 4-1 throughout his career, which is very good. And he was just considered as kind of a middle of the road left-hander until last season.
Right.
Something clicked with Locke last year, and I think it has a lot to do with that pitch right there. The fact that not just in the minor leagues at the higher levels in AAA, but in the big leagues, pitching inside and commanding that inside corner changes everything he's been able to do so far.
And if you don't do that, I mean, that change up, those pitches away aren't going to be nearly as effective. But you know, when you're in the minor leagues and you're throwing your fastball 89 and 91, and you're not going to be opening up too many eyes. It's the flamethrowers, the guys that really bring it, that are the ones that seem to advance through the minor leagues.
Well, that's the pitch as Braun fires the bat and the helmet. Locke strikes him out on 3 straight. He's starting to dial in on that inside corner. crew as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Mike Fiers back out there. Well, the National Child ID Program is a community service initiative dedicated to providing parents and guardians with a tool that they can use to protect their children. In 1997, the American Football Coaches Association created the National Child Identification Program with the goal of fingerprinting 20 million children. The FBI joined in the partnership, and the FBI National Citizens Academy Alumni Association and its chapters joined the partnership as well. So we're standing behind that program. Fiers now on for his fourth inning of work and 54 pitches. Roenicke was saying he'd like to keep that pitch count around 60 to 70 today. All depends on how Fiers is going along this afternoon.
Well, able to get out of a mess that he did not create. And Roenicke was able to sit down Alfredo Figueroa. So the longer Fiers can stay out there, the better that bullpen's going to be.
Well, Mike Fiers now with 5 Ks. Put Martin on his knees right here with that changeup.
That changeup, good pitch for him. He got Andrew McCutchen with a man at third. And now a big swing from Russell Martin right over the top.
Well, 4 of the last 6 outs for Fiers have been via the strikeout as he faces Neil Walker, who singled and scored back in the second inning. 2 home runs today for the Pirates. McCutchen in the first. Pedro Alvarez hit a 2-run homer in the second inning. Neil Walker, the Pittsburgh native, started the season as the everyday second baseman, went on the disabled list in April with a hand injury, had a laceration across the top of his hand. And he hits that one high and deep to right. He'll watch this one fly. Another home run for the Pirates. And it's now 4-0. The third home run of the day for Pittsburgh.
And they've all come when Fiers has put himself in a fastball count. McCutchen. Alvarez hit a 3-1 pitch. And now a 2-0 pitch, a fastball. Right down the middle. And Neil Walker knocks it out of here. 4-seam fastball, straight as a string. And a no doubter to right.
And here is Alvarez now, and he takes a strike. In Fiers' lone start with the Brewers this year, which came on April 6 against Arizona, gave up 2 home runs in 5 innings. Home run ball has been his problem when he has struggled at the big league level.
Yeah, it's a problem for a lot of control pitchers when they get themselves in behind in the count and they have to come in with a fastball, just like Marco Estrada. Don't have the big fastball to get by it down in the count.
Alvarez off the end of the bat, right to Fiers. And there is out number 2.
Thursday, June 6th, the Brewers take on the Philadelphia Phillies at 7:10 p.m. And the first 10,000 fans 21 and older will get a Summerfest Fest flag and weekly admission ticket. Restrictions apply. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Got a great lineup for Summerfest this year. A bunch of great artists coming to town. Well, 2 gone now for Clint Barmas, batting 8th in this Pittsburgh lineup. 3 Pittsburgh home runs. The most home runs the Brewers have allowed this year in a game is 4, and that came against these same Pirates back on April 30th. And the Pirate bats are putting the Brewers in a hole early today, especially the way Jeff Locke is pitching. Another cue shot. Ricky Weeks out in the grass and no chance to get it out. Ball had some funky spin on it. Took a right turn when it hit the ground. That'll be an infield hit for Barmes.
And no chance for anybody on that. Just one of those things. A little cue shot. The only chance really might have been Gonzalez if he got a great jump on it, but once it got by him, Ricky, no chance.
So an infield hit for Barmes will bring the pitcher Locke to the plate. Locke popped out into foul territory in his first at bat. And a bouncing ball to Segura. Segura will go to first. And the side is retired. So the Pirates add one to it on a Walker homer. It's now 4-0.
Zip as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. And just a reminder, enroll in a world-class experience this summer as Quick Trip presents the first annual Brewers Baseball Academy. These instructional kit camps are coming to a city near you. Visit brewers.com/camps today. Camps are for kids ages 6 to 14.
So that's the inaugural one, huh?
The inaugural year of the Brewers Baseball Academy. See, when I really take my time with that word, I can do it.
Well, Fiers alone with his thoughts in the Brewers dugout. He could be done here. You got activity in the Brewers bullpen right now, and Roenicke feeling like 4 innings would be a lot to ask out of Mike Fiers today unless he was really efficient. So Gorzelani is throwing in the bullpen, and I'm sure he is going to be on the mound in the 5th the way he is getting ready, taking his time to get loose, just coming back from the DL. So the Brewers in a hole 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Ramirez leads off, and Locke keeps pouring in the strikes. Aramis Ramirez bounced out to the shortstop in the first inning, left a runner at second base. Locke got a fastball in on his hands and does the same here, and that's not easy to do, and that just gives you the idea of how deceptive Locke is with that fastball. You don't see Ramirez get jammed very often with 88-mile-an-hour fastballs.
And just the idea of those other off-speed pitches, particularly the changeup, you get that in the hitter's mind, and we talk about that all the time with respect to Marco Estrada. no
Ramirez strikes out.
A lot no different.
Got him with another fastball, this time at 89.
And fastball above the belt, pretty straight and right by Aramis Ramirez.
Charter high-speed pitch. The two starters, Fires and Locke, not overwhelming with the fastball. Jonathan Lucroy now with one away. Brewers have 2 hits. Braun had a hustle double in the first, and then Ricky Weeks a sharp single in the second innings. Also been a walk, but Locke with 5 strikeouts to go with those 2 walks, or rather the 1 walk and the 2 hits. Just 3 base runners so far. The deception of Jeff Locke.
Yeah, the hip rotation and the hesitation, and that'll mess you up as a hitter. You try and follow all that, hides the ball well, and that helps that fastball of his.
Lucroy did not start last night. Maldonado got the call behind the plate. Lucroy back in there today. And a bat the Brewers need to get going here. Lucroy comes in with a batting average of .226. He's 0 for 1 today as he takes a strike on a 3-0 pitch. Lucroy led the Brewers in batting last year. He had .320. He missed 6 weeks with a hand injury.
And at the time, he was as hot as you could be, particularly with men on base. Finished strong, though.
There's ball 4. So Locke not missing by much, but Lucroy shows a good eye, and the second walk gives the Brewers a base runner for Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, Locke's one of those guys that, you know, if he feels as though you're going to chase, he'll throw it about an inch or 2 off the corners, and if you show your patience with him, he's going to have to throw a strike. One thing that's been impressive, we're talking about it, and the fact that he's been able to pitch inside today.
Gomez walked his last time up, and Locke starts him with a first pitch curveball for a strike. Carlos Gomez ranking among National League leaders starting play today in triples, extra base hits. He's 5th in the league in batting average. He's in the top 10 in total bases, stolen bases, slugging percentage, and he is 10th in the National League in OPS, an OPS of .915. It's been an incredible season for Carlos Gomez thus far.
Yeah, great start to the year.
0-2 is fouled back, and Gomez got a piece of somebody on that follow through. Or maybe the foul ball got a piece of somebody, not sure.
Umpire right on the shoulder.
That's what it was. I thought maybe the follow through got a piece of Martin, but it was Jeff Kellogg. Didn't even flinch, did he? Another 0-2 from Locke. Good block from Russell Martin. Keeps Lucroy at first. Former Gold Glove catcher. He was the last catcher in the National League to win the Gold Glove before Yadier Molina got on his reign of terror behind home plate.
Yeah, that's pretty much locked up for a while, isn't it? Good luck to anybody else.
Martin most recently with the Yankees after his days with the Dodgers. The 1-2 down in the dirt again. Gomez doesn't bite.
There's only been one fastball in this sequence, and that was the foul ball off the umpire. And all curveballs. 2 for strikes, 2 in the dirt.
And those are swings and misses from Gomez in years past. Made that adjustment last year in the second half, and he's carried it over to this season. 2-2. Gomez pops it up. Fastball got by him, and coming in is Snyder to make the play for out number 2.
An example of how a guy, Jeff Locke, is going to throw strikes early and then have you chase late. Trying to get Gomez chasing a couple of curveballs. He did not, and got a fastball but popped it up. That would have.
So 2 gone. And here is Weeks, who swung at the first pitch his last time up. He singled to right. Brewers could use a big bolt here. They're down 4-0. Down at the bottom of their order now as Weeks takes a strike. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Got to give Weeks some credit. He has really struggled this year, but it's not for a lack of effort. This guy has put in some serious time at the ballpark. Every day he's out early prior to batting practice, the regularly scheduled batting practice. Just out there in his shorts and a t-shirt and taking extra BP, a lot of time in the cage, just trying to gather some confidence, start to feel good about his swing again.
And he's trying to groove that swing to where he doesn't have to think about it when he's in that batter's box. That's the last place you want to be, and thinking about where your hands are or staying back, your feet. It's got to be automatic for you. It's the cage time in BP is when you worry about that stuff. There's only one thing you concern yourself with when you're in the batter's box, and that's the baseball. And it takes hours and hours of practice to change your swing up.
And I would imagine for a hitter like Weeks, who's had a lot of success in the big leagues, he's been an all-star, and he's going through something right now that he went through last year, but now you're talking about a much longer stretch. He struggled through the All-Star break last year, but not like this. Hoping for a mistake here with 2 strikes. And the 1-2 is inside for a ball. 2-2. Locke barely missing that spot on the inside corner. Brewers have had some base runners today. In 3 of the first 4 innings, they've had men on. First 2 innings had runners in scoring position. And Weeks takes a call at strike 3. So Locke goes right back in there. His 6th strikeout, and it's still 4-0. Bullpen here in the 5th inning, and the bullpen has been a significant story for Milwaukee. Jim Henderson is now injured. Not sure how long he is going to be out, but since May 17th, Brewers bullpen giving up just 3 earned runs across 27 plus innings.
And doing it really without any real established roles out there in the bullpen. Ron Roenicke moving guys around, trying to find or continue to see who's going to be hot out there. The bullpen in that stretch has lowered their earned run average from 416 to 3.23. That's almost a full run. That's how good they've been.
So Tom Gorzelany, the former Pirate, will come on to pitch, and Gorzelany just returning yesterday from the disabled list, out with a shoulder injury, missed a couple of weeks, and now he's back.
Yeah, missed 11 games with that left shoulder tendonitis. Last pitched on May 7th against the Rangers here at Miller Park. And you figure that Gorzelany, they're going to ease him back into that role in the bullpen. He was throwing the baseball very well before he came up lame with that shoulder.
Gorzelany had emerged as the setup man for the Brewers prior to that injury. Top of the Pirates order coming up. Starling Marte leads off, batting for the 3rd time. Final line on Mike Fiers: 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs all earned, and all coming on the long ball for the Pirates. McCutchen, Walker, and Alvarez. Alvarez had a 2-run homer in the 2nd.
You never want to be down 4-0, but it could have been a lot worse. That 3rd inning could have been a scoring inning for the Pirates. The Brewers got to get something going offensively.
Lucroy taking a shot on a foul tip.
And you see how much less padding Lucroy has on those shoulders, particularly the throwing shoulder, than does Russell Martin.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 as Gorzelany took a little off. Gorzelany was drafted and developed by the Pirates, came to the big leagues with Pittsburgh, was a 14-game winner as a starter back in 07. And he strikes out Marte. That's a good way to come back. First batter faced is a strikeout for the left-hander who lives in Iowa now.
Yep, and today's time of the game winner, Ice House in Milwaukee. That's right around the corner here from Miller Park. They call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Having a good time out there in the ATI zone in right field.
Throwing down a few Barrel Man ales out there in the ATI zone.
Travis Snyder with 1 away. Now Roenicke's going to look to his bullpen to continue to put some zeros up and try to get the offense going. This has been a bullpen that has had to eat up a ton of innings. And today with Kyle Lohse unable to make his start, you knew it was going to be a short start for Fiers. However it worked out, 4 or 5 innings max. And he gets 4 out of him. But Fiers exits with the Brewers in a 4-0 hole. Now, all signs pointing towards Lohse returning to the Brewers rotation on Thursday in Minneapolis. That'll be the final game of that 2-game series with the Twins.
And Brewers short in the starting rotation by 2 and short now in the bullpen. With Jim Henderson out, not sure how long he's going to be out. Really no word on his status at game time today.
Henderson in the dugout, which pretty much tells you Roenicke has no plans on using him. And I know they're still awaiting on an update from the doctor. But to your point, he is still a member of the active roster because they don't know.
Right.
And so
they're short.
You've got to figure out a plan around it. 3-2 to Snyder. Outside ball 4. Gorzelani walks the lefty. As we check in with Sophia.
Brian, coming into this series, the bullpen had covered 148 2/3 innings. That's the 5th most in the National League. And manager Ron Renneke said that entering a stretch of 20 games in 20 days, he said games like last night were important, not only just to keep the bullpen rested, but also it's an easier game to manage, he said, when you can only have to cover 2-3 innings versus 4 or 5, because he's able to keep his relievers in their natural positions where he considers them more comfortable, confident, where they'll have more success. So he says, you know, games like these are tough for him because you have to eliminate the decisions of where you're going to use certain guys, and really it becomes a matchups game.
Now, especially with Mike Fiers, I mean, he made a start. He's not going to be able to be used for maybe 2 or 3 days, and it's imperative to get long starts because your only real long reliever is now indisposed for a few days. So the emphasis is going to be on the next 2 starters.
That's not just what happens today when you have a spot starter like Fiers. It's what it does, the carryover for the next couple of days. And who knows, the Jim Henderson story, if they feel like he's going to be 2 days and maybe okay, they'll probably just continue to pitch shorthanded. And if everybody in the bullpen comes out and does their job, like the Brewers have been able to get some innings out of their bullpen with short starts. You think about Peralta, short start. Burgos had a short start. Well, those players who were coming in, those pitchers who were coming in, were putting up zeros. And so that makes the job a little easier too. But if you have one of those guys or a couple of those guys struggle and they can't get out of a particular inning, now you're in full scramble mode. And that's why it's so volatile. Because with every new pitcher becomes a new opportunity for failure or success.
And when you think about it, you know, the beginning of the last road trip, that 10-day road trip, the Brewers had 2 very short starts to begin that road trip, and to start this homestand, 2 very short starts. So, you know, right behind the 8 ball right away on, you know, long stretches of games is not good.
Here's a 1-2, and McCutchen lays off. McCutchen homered in the first inning. Put the Pirates on the board quickly. That was a 2-out home run. McCutchen's 7th of the year. He struck out with a runner at third and 1 out in the 3rd inning. The 2-2, and McCutchen bounces to short. Segura to second for 1. The turn is in time. Double play, and Gorzelani gets through the 5th. Brewers coming up down 4-0. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. At the bottom of the order coming up. A reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. Now Milwaukee trying to get something going here. Locke has been tough. Brewers have had base runners in 3 of the first 4 innings. But Locke, not necessarily a strikeout pitcher, has 6 of them, which matches his season high already. Had 6 Ks against the Brewers on May 14th. Had a 6 strikeout game against the Phillies in late April.
And a lot of those strikeouts coming on fastballs inside, whether they be swinging or Brewers taking third strikes.
A little bouncer toward first, and Jones hits Locke on the move for the out. So 1 gone in the 5th inning. And Gorzelani will be pinch hit for him. Badenhop in the bullpen. He'll be next up. And if you're asking the question, well, how come you're taking Gorzelani out? He just had a scoreless inning. He looked good. Remember, he's just coming back from a shoulder injury, and he'll be 1 inning at a time here for the next, you would think, few outings.
And he's really a one inning guy anyway. At least that's the way the Brewers had been using them, before he got hurt.
So a successful return from the DL for Tom Gorzelani. Got a strikeout, got a walk, but a double play ball to McCutchen. 3-batter inning. So Betancourt will bat. 1 gone in the 5th.
Now, the other issue that the Brewers have to deal with respect to Jim Henderson, if he's not going to be able to pitch for a few days, maybe 3, 4, 5 days, the Brewers are already short on their bench. So when you talk about short starts and having to use pinch hitters early, the Brewers are kind of in a tough spot in that regard too. So with Betancourt getting a pinch hitting opportunity in the 5th inning, Brewers only have 3 left on the bench.
There's been a roster mess for a good part of the season for the Brewers this year. Remember at the beginning of the season, as Betancourt shoots one to right center, a base hit. So in a pinch hit appearance, Uni B with a single.
That beat the shift. That breaking pitch off speed. Betancourt waits back and hits it into right field. There's that slider, curveball, whatever you want to call it. Leaves it up in the strike zone, down the middle, and Betancourt waits on it. You can see where Walker is, and Betancourt beats the shift and gets a single.
And now back to the top of the order. And now Aoki becomes a key hitter in this inning with Segura on deck. Braun down in the hold. Aoki is 0 for 2. Tried to bunt his way on last time. Locke made a good play on him. Barely clipped him at first base as Aoki was making a bid for an infield hit. Had a fun conversation with Aoki and his interpreter at the batting cage today, and he was telling us that he's kind of a surfer dude, which was a little surprising. He's from a city in Japan, a warm weather city, and they have one of the larger national surfing competitions in his town. He said it is very hot there, and he's looking forward to some hot weather.
I think everybody in Milwaukee is.
Yeah, we're right there with him.
Yeah.
He's from Hyuga, Miyazaki, Japan. Hyuga. And there was a good pronunciation lesson from Aoki to Ed Cedar, who's from Illinois and is having a tough time with Hyuga. kept saying, Yuga.
Eddie knew. He's just messing around.
Yeah, he did. Let's see if Nori can get on board here. 2-2 pitch, and that one's on the outside corner. So it's working against lefties and righties, that particular spot. Now Aoki, who doesn't show much, disagreeing with that call. Oof,
That's
low.
Not too close to take, but yeah, might have been down. You can see right on the edge there on the corner, but Jeff Kellogg rings it up.
Bottom corner of the strike zone. Looked like a good call. So Aoki is out. 7 strikeouts now. That is a season high for Jeff Locke.
I got to make a correction here. You know, we were talking about the ATI picnic area, and I said they might be having some Barrelman ale. It's not available here till Monday. I mean, I'm getting a lot of text messages saying, you know, what are you doing? So I apologize. Just a little publicity, maybe a shout out for the Barrelman ale.
I think the extra promotion counters the factual misrepresentation.
We got some people in the press box that need to, you know, get busy. Get some work done.
I'm with you.
You know who I'm talking about.
Not mentioning any names, Mike Vassallo, but just saying.
Man.
Gene Segura with 2 outs. Jeff Locke now 1 off a career high for strikeouts. Had an 8 strikeout game last year against the Astros last September. Got a little time last year. He got a little time in 2011, but now getting a chance as an every 5th day rotation member. Segura into right field. Snyder is there, and the side is retired. 5 shutout for the left-hander from New Hampshire. Thus far through the first 5 innings. It's 4-0. How about our freaky fast delivery of the game? And you got to turn a fast double play when you're talking about Andrew McCutchen.
And no bobbles, throws have to be right on the money. The Brewers turning their 36th double play this year. 6 to 4 to 3 to get one of the fastest guys in the game, Andrew McCutchen.
Bert Badenhop is the new Brewers hurler. Gorzolani works a scoreless 5th. And now Badenhop on to work the 6th inning. All 4 runs for the Pirates coming off Mike Fiers in a spot start for Loesch. He goes 4 innings with 4 earned runs allowed, had 5 strikeouts.
Badenhop in game number 24 so far this year, a .233 earned run average. Badenhop's last appearance was Wednesday against the Dodgers through 2 scoreless innings.
And Badenhop is a guy that can give you multiple innings. Garrett Jones fouls that one off his foot. Those are all the things that Roenicke has to look at when you're in a game like this and you know you're going to need relief help. So the pitcher spot was due up last inning. And you know Gorzelani's only going to be able to give you 1 inning anyway, so that was Gorzelani's inning, and then pinch hit for him. Badenhop could give you 2.
Now this long stretch of games for the Brewers, you got to be careful not to overuse one of your relievers in one particular game, particularly when you're behind. So 1 inning and you figure Badenhop can go back tomorrow and even maybe the next day, but you give him 2 innings today and you can't use him again the next day.
There's a base hit by Garrett Jones. He knocked one right through the shift. So a leadoff single for the big lefty. Leadoff runner aboard for the Pirates for the 2nd time today.
Badenhop has used his slider quite a bit lately to get some big outs, particularly against right-handers. There's a fastball for Garrett Jones and beats the shift right through the middle.
And here is Russell Martin. Usually when you have a starting rotation that is going through a bad stretch like the Brewers rotation is, then you have a bullpen that goes through a bad stretch. Those two kind of work hand in hand.
Right.
Because the starters aren't going deep, the bullpen is having to log a lot of innings.
They get tired and their stuff diminishes, and of course that hasn't happened in this nice stretch for the Brewers pen.
And while the Brewers haven't been winning much, it hasn't turned into victories. They've certainly managed the bullpen well, and they've put themselves in a position to come back in games and kept games relatively close. All that being said, it is a dismal month of May going right now for Milwaukee, and they're trying to finish this month off and take advantage of the home games they have left. Brewers are 2-2 on the homestand, and 4 games remaining, including today's.
And this is a nice stretch of home games from Milwaukee. Have to take advantage of it. Haven't done it yet.
There's a base hit. Russell Martin back up the middle for a single, and 2 hits to start the inning against Badenhop, and the Pirates have something going here in the 6th.
Yeah, both on fastballs. That one not hit very hard, but Martin able to fight it off into center field. Yeah, to start this homestand, the Brewers had 20 of 25 games coming up here at Miller Park. Got to start winning at home.
Now the Brewers will wrap up the series with the Pirates tomorrow, and then the Twins for 2, and then a quick 5-game road trip before they return for interleague play against the Oakland Athletics. It'll be the A's and the Phillies.
It's actually 15 of 20.
There's a strike to Neil Walker. Walker hit a solo homer in the 4th. He hit a bomb out of here to right. Just his 2nd home run of the season. Bouncing ball, got a chance to turn it. Gonzalez to second. Segura to first. Badenhop is there, and Gonzalez made the catch.
Same thing that happened last night, right? But they got the out.
That is incredible. Because we were just talking about that play last night.
Right.
That's never been seen before.
Right.
And we've seen it again in back-to-back games, and this time they
here
got
it
it
is.
right.
If Gonzalez catches this baseball, or I should say if Badenhop catches it's an out. That happened in the Texas-Seattle game, but they got an out of it. Check it out.
Now watch the pitcher coming over to cover, and he snatches the ball in front of Moreland, and the out was called.
Corey Blaser, the first base umpire, calls the out. Now you can see the pitcher taking the ball out of his glove and then kind of hides it again, and then they kind of get together, and they never reversed it. What are the chances that happens on back-to-back days?
That's amazing.
Amazing, isn't it?
The odds of that going down, and Jeff Nelson and Eric Wedge, and they had a conversation at the mound, and obviously it brings up the notion of replay and advanced replay. Well, today Eric Cooper got the call right.
They're waiting just a split second based on yesterday's results. Oh, the hoopla over that call last night. It was Jeff Nelson, not Corey Blaser. But to have that happen back-to-back days, you see it quite often where a player will get in the way and grab it, but not that close to the bag. Nicely done, Eric Cooper.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean,
it is.
Really, like, you've been around the game a long time. I've seen a lot of games, calling games since '94. I've never seen basically an interception right in front of the bag like that, which would have been an out, and it's happened twice in as many days.
You never know what you're going to see when you show up, right? I mean, that's the thing about this game. I mean, you might come to the ballpark thinking, oh, ho hum, another game, but you got to be ready for this stuff.
Yeah.
You never know when it's going to come up.
And what's funny about it is you made the statement, and no one argued with you, but you said, you know, last night it's kind of an anomaly, and you'll never see that play again, and it happens in this game today.
Well, that play and that kind of a call,
right.
You're never going to see again. I mean, based on, you know, 4 umpires not being able to see who actually had that baseball last night is kind of hard to figure.
And you made a good point, because what sold the play was the fact that the pitcher Grimm grabbed the first baseman Moreland and walked him back to the mound. He knew he had the ball in his hand, but he basically tricked the umpires into not seeing the exchange of the ball.
Yeah, but before that, you saw him, he was getting ready to throw it somewhere. Right. I mean, he pulled it out and then realized what he did.
Right.
But nobody saw it.
Well, Baden Hopp in a pickle right now. He's got the bases loaded with 1 out, and Barmas, a bouncing ball, got a chance to turn this one. 6-4-3. Nobody intercepts the baseball. And Baden Hopp gets out of the inning. And by Miller Lite, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Featuring the new Barrelman beer.
Monday.
Soon to be sold at Miller Park.
Monday. Remember Monday.
Chorizo having a nice day today on a Saturday afternoon, even with the big sombrero.
A Barrowman ale and a Clements sausage. What's better at the ballpark?
Oh my God.
Huh?
Sound like a race car driver. Hey, if you're looking for a laugh this weekend, and I know you are, Paul Emick follows Wisconsin athletes on Twitter all week long, and he brings you his top 10 tweets each Friday. You can check him out at foxsportswisconsin.com.
You didn't like that?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic.
You know who brews the Barrowman ale? It's Leinenkugels, which is a proprietary product of Miller Coors.
Oh, very nice.
I got corrected on that last night, too. We got a lot of people keeping an eye on us.
Yes, we do.
You know, it's good to be people worrying about, stuff and looking over our shoulder.
Ryan Braun takes a ball inside. Well, Braun had a double his first time up, struck out looking in the third inning. And Braun hits it hard right at Garrett Jones, and Locke with one out in the sixth. So I just want to take you back because of the phenomenal nature of what just happened here at Miller Park. Now, this was last night at Safeco in Seattle, and if you weren't here with us last inning, so this was the play last night, big controversy. Pitcher intercepted the ball from the first baseman, and he was called out, even though he wasn't out. It was a missed call, and it was a big discussion. And look at Grimm. Just walk with me, Mitch.
I'm going to put the baseball on your glove, the hidden back trick. I'm going to give it back to the first baseman.
And almost the identical scenario, except it was the position player today, Gonzalez, that intercepts the ball as it was headed for an out with Badenhop covering.
Right.
And Eric Cooper had it right. And I'm sure Eric Cooper is going to get a call from Jeff Nelson saying you're welcome. You know, they don't teach that at umpiring school. You know, it's just something that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You just don't see it very often.
Well, when you have two guys that close, you got to really make sure who has the baseball. And Eric Cooper got it right. They didn't get it right last night. Oh, well. It was a win going away for Texas, so it didn't much matter, did it?
Right. This is what happened last inning. Badenhop's there, and the ball is going to be right in his glove for an out, a double play. But Gonzalez picks it off and goes all the way for a touchdown.
Brewers did not do a very good job of trying to sell that one like the Texas Rangers.
I think that's where the rubber meets the road, Rock. The rookie pitcher Grimm sold it well, and the veteran Gonzalez did not. Crazy game. And Ramirez draws the walk. So the base runners keep coming for Milwaukee. And now they have to start delivering on those. Been a man on in every inning except a 3-up, 3-down third. Crowd of over 40,000 ready to cheer for something here. Pirates have all of their runs via the home run ball. McCutchen, Alvarez, and Walker. Alvarez hit a 2-run shot. The other two were solos. Lucroy walked his last time up. Flew out to right in his first at bat. Locke's been all around the strike zone today. And you see these right-handed hitters lift their arms as if that pitch is coming inside, and it tails right back over the plate. And there's been a very effective pitch today for Jeff Locke.
And he does it with a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer. He's had good command of everything today.
There's another one.
4-seamer. And what makes that pitch effective is, hitters are not going to sell out and wait for a pitch inside. Good hitters don't do that. They look away, they react inside, and only react until they have 2 strikes.
Lucroy pulls that one over to third. Alvarez goes to second for 1, and the Pirates turn a nifty double play. 5-4-3. Locked in. 6 shutout. Getting some handshakes in that Pirates dugout. That's interesting.
Well, his pitch counts at around 100, so figure got a 4-0 lead. Leave it up to the bullpen.
Well, the shining moment of the game brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Yet another double play ball. Brewers trying to get Badenhop out of a mess last inning.
That's Badenhop's strong suit, getting that sinker down and in, and able to roll over the double play. Barmes is 6-4-3. Back-to-back innings. The Pirates have ended the inning with a double play ball.
Badenhop sitting there with the bases loaded and 1 out, and gets out of it. Keeps the Brewers in shouting distance as Brandon Inge will pinch hit for Locke. So Jeff Locke has a scoreless inning streak going of 14. 7 shutout against Houston his last time out. He has 6 shutout today, and then he had a shutout inning against the Brewers 2 starts ago.
The last 2 starts he's only allowed 6 hits.
Justin Wilson, the left-hander, getting loose for the Brewers' 7th inning. Brandon Inge, who started at third base last night, a pinch hit appearance in the 7th. Jeff Locke goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts today. And Inge, a little half swing, able to check it. Inge made some outstanding plays yesterday in that 2-1 Brewer win. He was busy over there with A.J. Burnett on the mound. Into center field. Gomez will run it down for out number 1.
Yeah, the Brewers Community Foundation proudly awarded 17 scholarships to students pursuing college education. Hey, congratulations. Scholarship programs include Celix Scholarships, Miller Park Community Scholarship, Player Coaches Fund, and the Bonin Scholarship. So the Brewers Community Foundation active in trying to get kids into college.
Well, 1 gone. Top of the order now for Starling Marte. Badenhop, breaking ball strike. Marte is 0 for 3. This is the 3rd different pitcher he's faced already in this game. Couple of at-bats against Fires. Gorzelani struck him out in the 5th, and now Badenhop has him 0-2. Marte pops it into foul territory. Gonzalez near the wall, reaches up, makes the catch. 2 gone. For a guy who is not so familiar with that side of the field, played it well, did Gonzalez.
Yeah, as a shortstop, you don't have to deal too much with the walls over there on the grandstands, and able to make that play relatively easily. A good pitch by Badenhop, a slider. And Marte out in front of it.
That'll bring up Travis Snyder now. And a curveball strike. Badenhop just kind of a slinger out there. He slings everything. Has a lot of movement on his pitches. Has that sinker ball, gets a lot of ground balls when he's right. Got off to a rough start this year. Everything seemed to be up in the zone, and he was getting hit hard, but like a lot of the rest of the bullpen, he has settled down and he's been very effective.
Earned run average at 214. Everything moving, either the slider or the sinker, nothing straight. He's got to keep the baseball down, doesn't throw very hard.
There was a stretch there for Badenhop in early April. He gave up 6 earned runs in 3 outings. In 3 consecutive outings, gave up 2 runs in each of them. Bouncing ball right to Segura. And a nice inning for Bert Badenhop. So he puts up another 0. Badenhop has not given up an earned run in the month of May. By Toyota. It's been all Pirates so far today. They've hit 3 home runs in the game. McCutchen and Alvarez had a big 2-run homer. Neil Walker with a home run in the 4th. That has capped off the scoring to now. And Jeff Locke, impressive once again. This guy's having some kind of year. 6 innings, no runs, 7 strikeouts. He has a 14-inning scoreless streak going right now that is ongoing. He'll take into his next start. 4-0 Pirates as we play in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the new pitcher is Justin Wilson.
Yeah, 4-0. He picked up a win with a scoreless inning on May 17th. He's only given up 2 earned runs in his last 20 2/3 innings. So this bullpen has been pretty good. They've got their lockdown closer in Jason Grilli, which makes it easy on everybody else.
Yeah, the Pirates are all set up. Wilson to Melanson to Grilli. See if the Brewers can make some noise here. Wilson throws hard. Lefty that can bring it in the mid to upper 90s. And he is by no means a situational left-hander. He is there for an inning, and you could see this guy emerging as a closer one day with his stuff. As Gomez turns it around quickly, and a home run for Carlos Gomez. Solo shot puts the Brewers on the board. Number 7 for Gomez.
Yeah, the Brewers, you know, are delighted to have Jeff Locke out of the ball game. They could not figure him out. So first batter against Justin Wilson, and the Brewers on the board. And that's the same fastball in. This time Gomez waiting for it, and he turns it around. And now a 4-1 ball game.
Powerball home run number 7 for Carlos gives him 21 runs batted in. And his first home run since May 4th against the Cardinals when he homered off Adam Wainwright.
You saw that replay on that home run pitch. That was a cutter actually at 90 miles an hour. Didn't do much, and Gomez able to hit it hard.
Weeks into right field. Snyder is right there for out number 1. Now the dream season for Carlos Gomez continues. Got a walk today to go along with that home run. And now Alex Gonzalez. Don't forget Brewers Live postgame coming your way as soon as we're done here. Greg and Augie, and then Rock and Augie will have our postgame instructional this afternoon. What's on your plate today, partner?
Well, Augie and I just had a little bit of a powwow, you know, in the back here in the booth, and we
business meeting.
Yeah, we figured we're going to talk about that 3-6-3 double play that has been getting a lot of attention lately.
Yeah, I like it. You played a little first in your career.
Yeah. And Augie pitched, so he's very familiar with that play.
You're going to need somebody to come in and intercept the baseball.
So we got Craig.
You could do it.
How about you?
You know, I do that, but I'm a little tied up today after the game.
You got something going on?
Yeah.
Here at the ballpark, I'm sure.
Yo, sure. Yeah, right here in the booth.
All right.
Yeah, always got to stand by. It's always got to be the auxiliary, the fallback, you know, in case something goes wrong. Gonzalez over to Alvarez. And there is out number 2.
So by the time we're doing the instruction, you're what, about the Pettit Center heading home?
Oh, no, not true, Rocker. Finishing off my scorebook and all the paperwork, filling out the broadcaster's report.
You vacuum in the booth, and,
right?
You know,
cleaning up all the empty
yeah.
beer bottles
right.
from all of your visitors. Jeff Bianchi's going to pinch hit here in the 7th inning. And so Badenhop goes 2 scoreless. John Axford will be next. Brewers finally get a run on the board on the Gomez homer. 4-1 now. All of the runs delivered by home runs. 3 by the Pirates, which now gives them 11 home runs in 5 games at Miller Park this year. And the Gomez home run to start this inning.
That's the amazing thing about the Pirates, all the home runs they've hit this year, and it's tough to hit them out of their ballpark.
Oh, a fastball at 96. 0-2 on Bianchi. And he's down on strikes. Martin will secure it at first. So Wilson retires the next 3 after Carlos Gomez goes deep. Number 7.
Do trail the Pirates 4-1 here at Miller Park. We check in with the results of our AT&T Twitter poll asking Brewers fans which defensive play was most important last night. 29% said Aramis Ramirez's barehander. 33% went with shortstop Gene Segura, the force plays he made to cut down some runs. And Alex Gonzalez, 38% with his liner to end the 8th inning and preserve the shutout for Marco Estrada. So some good defensive plays by the Brewers last night, and of course I jinxed them today by talking about their defense. Then they go out with 2 errors. So. And
I see you down there, Sophia Fisheye, and those infielders as they throw it around right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to have a chat with some of them.
And Sophia almost got wiped out by a poorly thrown ball.
No, she did.
Well, it wiped the microphone out. Sophia came out of there with flying colors as John Axford is out of the Brewers bullpen. Gorzolani, Badenhop for 2, and now Axford has the 8th. 4-1 Pirates. McCutchen leads off.
And last pitched on Tuesday against the Los Angeles Dodgers, a scoreless inning, and Axford has allowed just 1 run over his last 7 appearances.
Oh, good looking breaking ball from Axford.
And that slider's been a good pitch for him. Slider, curveball, fastball. That's more the curveball right there.
He threw it harder than he normally does. Now a fastball from Axford missed. Normally Axford's curveball is in the upper 70s. 78, 79 miles an hour. And then the slider's more 84, 85. Shakes the slider, wants the fastball. To a fastball hitter. Got to make it a good one. And McCutchen fouls it away. That's the thing about McCutchen. There aren't many that can do what he just did. It looks like a defensive swing, but that's a 96 mile an hour fastball that he just flicks foul.
And he's just fighting it off. He's just happy with just fouling it off and attacking another pitch.
Now the slider and the 1-2, and McCutchen lays off.
I'll tell you who did that better than anybody I've ever seen. Talking about fouling off tough pitches was Robin Yount. I mean, that guy, he could just wear you out. Good pitches, he'd foul them off and wait for a pitcher to make a mistake. And amazing his ability to stay alive in an at-bat.
Two and two now. Count stays at 2-2.
That one got Luke.
And out of respect, Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire, out to dust off home plate, and it doesn't really need it, but just to give his catcher a little time.
Make sure Luke's lunch isn't going to come up on home plate.
Professional courtesy.
Right.
Another 2-2 coming. Fastball, and it's shot back up the middle, of base hit. And that's why McCutchen is an all-star.
Yep, the high fastball, 96 miles an hour after fighting off a pretty good curveball. You figure he'd be vulnerable to something hard out over the plate, up in the strike zone, and McCutchen able to hit it hard into center field. Good hitter.
Leadoff runner at first. Tomorrow is the finale of the series. Wandy Rodriguez and Giovanni Gallardo. Another lefty for the Pirates tomorrow. Rodriguez having a great year at 5-2. Brewers faced him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Giovanni is 10-3 lifetime against the Pirates.
Brewers have a win and a loss, or have hung a win and a loss on Rodriguez so far this season. Be the third matchup this year between Gallardo and Rodriguez, the former Astro. Wandy beat Gallardo 3-1 here, or rather beat Gallardo 3-1 at PNC last time around. Gallardo won a ball game against Wandy Rodriguez and the Pirates on April 29th here at Miller Park. Bunch of day baseball going on in the big leagues today. Braves and the Mets had to play pick up a suspended game that was in the 8th inning. They're now in the 10th inning of a game that they started yesterday. It's still 5-5, and then they have a game later tonight. Rockies lead the Giants in the 7th inning 4-3. Colorado's been a big story this year. They are right there in the National League West. 6 games over 500, and they lead the Giants in San Francisco in the 7th inning.
Lucroy never moved his glove.
2-1 to Garrett Jones. Check on McCutchen. The Brewers' next opponent, the Twins. They'll be traveling in here Monday from Detroit. Twins lead the Tigers 3-2 after almost being no hit yesterday by Anibal Sanchez. That game's in the 8th inning. The Twins have the lead. A good curveball strike for Axford.
Yeah, he'll throw more curveballs than sliders to lefties. More sliders than curveballs typically for Axford lately.
Two and two to Jones. McCutchen at first. And Axford gives him another look.
Surprised McCutchen hasn't tried to steal yet.
You know, McCutchen has been banged up a little bit. He's been dealing with a right knee injury. Missed a game on Monday. Injured it last week sliding. And he's been somewhat grounded since. But now he goes. High and tight throw to second is in time. Lucroy cuts down McCutchen.
That's a perfect throw from Lucroy, and he had a good pitch to throw on. A pitch up in the zone at 94. McCutchen thought he was safe. Can't ask for a better pitch to throw on right there, and Lucroy delivers, and they did get him.
It's only the second time this season McCutchen has been thrown out. Lucroy has struggled in that area as well, so that's big for him. Well, now one gone and a 3-2 count on Jones, and he lays off to draw the walk. Another game in the division going on. The Cubs and the Reds. 2-1 Cubs. Travis Wood is at it again. That game's in the 6th inning. Boy, Wood's been a bright surprise for the Cubs. 5 1/3, just 1 run so far today. Has an ERA at 2.19. Travis Wood traded from the Reds to the Cubs a couple of years ago. Doing a number on his old team.
Trying to break a 5-game losing streak for the Cubs. Twins have lost 10 straight.
Yeah.
The Twins coming in on Monday.
Yep, they're hanging on to a 1-run lead in Detroit. Russell Martin takes a strike.
Well, Axe is really trying to work on that curveball here today, isn't he? A lot of curveballs, a lot of breaking pitches.
We'll try the slider here. 1-1. Martin. He buckles his knees, and it's 1-2. Looking ahead to the Brewers' bottom of the 8th, they'll have the top of the order coming up. Right now, down 3. Axford trying to keep it that way.
Yeah, Russell Martin, very similar to Andrew McCutchen, can turn a big fastball around. We saw him do that against Axford in Pittsburgh. They'll be careful trying to throw the fastball in on him.
Martin had a game-tying double in that game against Axford in the 8th. Pirates have an unusual trend going this season in their games. They are losing the first games of series and then winning the rest of those series, which is interesting. And they've done it 3 out of 4 times in their 4-game series, where they've lost the first one, then won 3 in a row against that team, and that's what they did against Milwaukee. Brewers hope that trend does not continue here. 2-2 to Martin, and down he goes. Axford with a big fastball. Martin strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning.
Man, finally got him with a fastball, but a steady diet of off-speed pitches. First 4. A 6-pitch strikeout for John Axford. A couple of curveballs, got to 1-1 count. Then he slipped the slider in on the outside corner. Another breaking pitch and consecutive fastballs. The 6th finally getting by Russell Martin up in the strike zone.
So 2 outs. Axford facing Neil Walker. Walker hit a no-doubter back in the 4th inning. Has 2 hits today. He scored twice. And starting to get his stroke back together after he spent some time on the disabled list. A couple of weeks. Curveball strike. 0-2 the count on Walker. Axford deals an 0-2, misses with the fastball. Maybe by design.
Fastball upstairs, go with the slider, the curveball down in the dirt, see if he chases. It's called rocking the boat up and down in the strike zone.
High fastball is fouled away. Not a whole lot of time to decide for a hitter when Axford's throwing 97, 98 miles an hour. And part of his struggles early in the year, the fact that he didn't have the big fastball. He was at 93, 94, and you could tell he was trying to reach back for a little extra. Not in his comfortable mechanics, and then he was struggling to throw strikes.
Well, he didn't have the velocity, didn't have the breaking pitch either. When they would throw that for strikes, which compounded his problems. All of a sudden, he's starting to get all those pitches working for him again.
Think about it from a pitching perspective. You know, it's so much about feel and muscle memory, and you let a pitch go at a certain level, and you know how it feels for a particular location. High fastball, low fastball. So when the velocity changes, you got to reset your sights. And therein lies the challenge for any pitcher. 2-2 on the way. A little half swing foul by Walker. Axford's been able to get himself right, though. He has certainly looked like the Axford of old as of late. He's throwing with a lot of velocity and conviction.
Changing a few things. You know, Rick Kranitz, Lee Tunnell working with him out in the bullpen, a tweak here or there in the delivery, his mechanics, and been much better.
And that one is just inside. Well, Axford trying to spot one on the corner. He just missed it, and now the count goes full, which means Jones will get a head start at first.
I guess.
Runner goes. Walker gets jammed, and a bouncer over to Weeks, and Axford puts up another 0. So the bullpen's been good. They're holding serve. Can the Brewers fight back? Top of the order coming up. Aoki, Segura, and Braun. Well, we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Brewers trailing the Pirates 4-1 here in front of 40,000 plus at Miller Park on a Saturday afternoon. New first baseman is Gabby Sanchez. He'll take over for Garrett Jones. And Mark Melancon will come on to pitch.
Yeah, this guy has been virtually unhittable all year. A .72 earned run average. Last pitched on Wednesday. A scoreless inning. And picked up his first save of the year, actually, on Wednesday. Has been scored upon just once in his last 17 games.
Well, that was a save against the Astros. Melancon knew he was going to be the closer that day as Clint Hurdle trying to manage his bullpen. Grilli had a down day on Wednesday. So Melancon typically the setup man, and he is in here in the 8th with a 3-run lead to work with. Brewers will send up the top of the order. This has been a very stingy bullpen for the Pirates. Brewers are hoping that there is some sort of correction. They have made very few mistakes this year. Melancon with that great curveball.
That two-seamer, a breaking pitch. The Pirates pitching staff second best in earned run average in the National League behind the St. Louis Cardinals. The Pirates at 322. That's before today's game. Starters, relievers, all very good.
Jeff Locke started today's game with 6 shutout innings. Justin Wilson had a scoreless, or rather an inning with 1 run, giving up the homer to Gomez. And now Melancon bounced around a little bit. Melancon came up with the Yankees. Slow roller over to third. Alvarez waits on it, and the throw is in time. A strong arm from Alvarez. Aoki has been flirting with a few infield hits today, but nothing to show. Our text question, Rock, from Dylan in New Berlin. What adjustment do players make for mid-afternoon games? Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question today.
Well, it's an odd starting time, but it really doesn't affect you too much. I mean, players, I think, would prefer the routine of a night game, but, 3 o'clock, and no big deal as far as the body clock goes. But one thing that helped both players, both sides in this game, is the fact that there's been cloud cover in Milwaukee. The sun really hasn't played too much of a role going through those glass panels here at the ballpark. Sometimes those shadows can get pretty tricky at this time of night. Not too bad today.
Kind of a hazy day outside. Segura takes a ball inside. Well, Segura today is 0 for 3. 1 for 4 last night. He came in hitting .348. Batting average of .343. Trying to reach base. Ryan Braun is next. Brewers need base runners. Melancon had a couple of good years with the Astros. He's never been this good. But he was very effective as a member of the Astros bullpen. Emerged as their closer a couple of years ago as Segura bounces one to Neil Walker. Out number 2. So the base is empty. Melancon has the first 2 out. And Ryan Braun coming up.
Well, you just never know when a guy's going to find it. It's all of a sudden going to click for him. And for Melancon, it's been this year. It's early on. I mean, we're talking about a little over a quarter of the season's gone by, and he's been virtually unhittable.
See Ryan Braun at the plate today, presented by Wendy's. Had a double in the first. Locke struck him out looking in the third, and then had a hot grounder that was played nicely by Jones. Melancon has given up just 2 earned runs all season.
Averaging a strikeout per innings pitched. He signed in 06. He missed 07 with an injury and found his way to the Yankees for a short period of time in 09. So he came up very quickly. Got to the big leagues up and down. Had a good year with Houston back in 11. And now really making a name for himself in Pittsburgh.
Quickly 0-2 on Ryan Braun. And a called strike outside corner. Nothing doing against Melancon. Brewers go quietly in the 8th. 4-1 Pirates.
We head to the 9th inning. The Brewers with only 2 runners in scoring position outside of the Gomez home run, and it only gets tougher the further you go into the game. Now potentially your last at-bats with Grilli, who's a perfect 19 for 19.
Yeah, and it is. You know, when you look at the success of this Pittsburgh ball club, Locke pitched a very good ball game today. But when you get into late innings and you get to Mark Melancon and Jason Grilli, they're pretty good. Like you said, Jason Grilli, 19 for 19 in save opportunities.
Well, Jerry and I are set to break this game down. Brewers Live post-game is on the way. Alfredo Figueroa is now on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers right now, and very interesting with him out there. Guys, a big question mark. Who's going to start on Tuesday? I guess those answers are yet to come, maybe as soon as tonight.
And Ron Roenicke did say that this would be the last day Figueroa is available in the bullpen, so perhaps a tune-up before he makes a start on Tuesday, or if Roenicke needs him Sunday or Monday, then that could change the plans then too. But he's going to get the ball here in the 9th inning, trying to keep the Pirates at 4.
Well, that can happen between now and Tuesday, so we'll wait and see. Just because he's out there today doesn't mean he's not going to start, but don't be surprised. I mean, if Jim Henderson goes on the disabled list, they might make a move. It might be a starter. Who knows? Everybody anxious to see what's going to happen with the Brewers closer. I guess that information is going to be forthcoming as at some point.
Yeah, stay tuned to Brewers Live today. See if we have any info on that. Well, Pedro Alvarez will lead off. He had a key home run in this game back in the 2nd. Hit a 2-run homer off Mike Fiers. And that ball is launched. Wow, how far is this one going to fly? Pedro Alvarez with his 2nd homer of the ball game. And that is into the deep reaches of the Lowe's level at Miller Park, up on the concourse, and it's now 5-1 Pirates.
Yeah, first pitch, fastball right down the middle, and just like the home run that he hit against Mike Fiers, there's a 3-1 fastball down the middle. Here it is, and he did not miss it. And that was a clout to right.
Well, Pedro Alvarez with his 2nd homer gives him 10 for the year. He's hitting under 200. As Barma sends one deep to right center. Aoki is there. Rory Aoki with a running catch. 4 out, number 1.
Yeah, looking at that replay, that was actually a changeup that Alvarez hit. So sitting on a changeup and nearly hit it up there in the concourse above the 2nd level.
Well, Alvarez Now with 40 home runs since the beginning of last season, at a 30-plus homer season last year, and the 40 home runs, the most by a National League third baseman during that time. He hits for a low average, but he hits a bunch of homers.
Well, he's going to need to do that, based on the defense that he plays at third base. He's been much better lately, but he got off to a terrible start. He's got 6 errors still. He had 6 errors when the Brewers were in Pittsburgh. They're starting to tighten things up over there at the hot corner.
A 2-homer day for Alvarez. Gabby Sanchez, his first at bat, came in on a double switch last inning.
Alvarez last year for the Pirates, 27 errors at third base.
Wow.
That's a lot of errors. So
yeah, as long as you hit more homers than errors, you'll still get playing time, right?
he's an incredible talent. I mean, he's got a lot of ability. You just got to be able to put him out there at third base and feel confident that he's going to be able to make the plays.
Well, he's done a good job today. He's made all the plays. He's had some tough ones too. Started a nice double play. Was the number 2 pick in the country overall. Now with that home run by Pedro Alvarez, Grilli is down, and Glenn Hurdle has the left-hander up, Tony Watson. That's ball 4 to Gabby Sanchez. So a base runner with 1 away, and back to the top of the order. Hurdle has his team 10 games over 500. Chance to go to 11 over with a win today. Pirates still have not had a winning season since '93. They've been knocking at the door the last 2 years, but have had second half collapses. They've never been this good at this time of the year during that stretch, as Marte lifts one a mile high, and it's going to stay in the ballpark for Gomez. Just got under it, did Marte. Out number 2.
Ambushing a fastball right there, and he just got under it, kept it in the ballpark. Didn't miss it by much.
So 2 gone for Snyder. Brewers will have Ramirez, Lucroy, and Gomez. And then Weeks coming up in the 9th, if anybody gets on. Now a 4-run deficit. Brewers had to go with Mike Fiers as a spot starter today. Kyle Lohse was supposed to start. A little tightness in the elbow, so the Brewers will be very careful with Lohse, hoping he can return on Thursday in Minnesota. Fiers went 4, giving up 4 runs. Orzelani, Badenhop, and Axford had scoreless outings as Figueroa makes the play to end the inning. But the Pirates get a run, another homer. All 5 of their runs on the home run ball. Alvarez with 2. We go to the 9th. For 3 of those 5 runs. McCutchen and Neil Walker the other home runs, and the Pirates have a 5-1 lead instead of Grilli. Now it's out of a save situation. It's going to be Tony Watson, the left-hander.
Yeah, Watson had been banged around pretty good in his previous 6 appearances. Yeah, before he's made 2 scoreless appearances. That covers 3 innings. As one of 2 left-handers out in that bullpen. Any sign of trouble, you figure Grilli is going to be ready to come in.
And if nothing else, the Brewers would love to get Grilli in this ball game today. First outing since Wednesday for Tony Watson. Had a 20-pitch outing on Wednesday against the Astros. Well, when you have a bullpen like the Pirates, you get a pretty calm looking manager right there. They have done the job. Everybody doing what they're supposed to do. Their starters are going deep in games. The bullpen has been locked down, and I don't think the Pirates, even though they're hitting a lot of home runs, they're not scoring a lot of runs overall. They've had a lot of low scoring games, but they're winning a lot, keeping pace with the Reds and the Cardinals. Aramis Ramirez is 0 for 2 with a walk today. And you wonder if he'll get the day off tomorrow. That's typically been the pattern. Ramirez once has played in 3 in a row. The problem with Ramirez and his injured left knee is inflammation, and that's why those days off have become necessary right now, as he's essentially coming back a little earlier than he should just to try to keep a bat in the lineup. Hits that one high and deep to center, but playable for McCutchen.
Yeah, very important to get that bat in the lineup. And makes Ryan Braun a better hitter, makes the entire lineup better.
Now the Brewers needing a comeback. If they don't get it today, they'll still have a chance to win the series tomorrow, which has been a long time coming for Milwaukee. Last time they won a series was against the Pirates in late April. What's amazing about the Brewers Pirates matchups here at Miller Park is how many of those series recently the Brewers have won. They have won 15 of the last 17 series against Pittsburgh in this ballpark. If the Pirates hang on today, it's only going to be their 9th win in this venue since 2007. 9 wins here at Miller Park in 7 seasons.
Yeah, the dominance has been incredible, and really, the Brewers really have not, blown them out all that much. It's just been able to figure out ways to win games late, come from behind victories, and Brewers knew they had that success, and the Pirates were aware of it as well.
And Milwaukee 47-8 coming into play today here at Miller Park since 07, which is what we like to call the Ryan Braun era. Matter of fact, Ryan Braun made his major league debut on this date back in 2007. His first big league game came in San Diego, May 25th of 07. He had second that day, and then he hit third the next day, and that's pretty much where he's been ever since. Full count to Lucroy. And he popped him up. Shallow right, long run for Snyder. But he's there, and the Brewers are down to their last out. Don't forget, Brewers Live coming up. A lot of news today. We're anxious to hear about Jim Henderson and his status. Find out where the Brewers are headed with their starting rotation. They know they have Gallardo tomorrow. And then Willie Peralta's next turn on Monday afternoon. And remember that Monday is a day game, Memorial Day start, 1:10 p.m. on the air at 12:30. Gomez, right center. And Carlos Gomez with another home run. Boy, that was a boomer into right center. And it's 5-2 Pittsburgh. 2 today for Gomez, 8 for the season.
Yeah, 2 home runs and a walk for Gomez, and boy, I'd love to see him go into the opposite field out there in the Toyota territory. No cheapie for Gomez to right center.
Well, that had that sound to it.
Yeah, first pitch fastball, and he hit a rocket on out of here. And he knew it as soon as he made contact. A no doubter. Saw McCutchen start to head over there, but stop quickly.
There aren't a whole lot of right-handed hitters that go up in that territory up there in right center. Well, and that home run got Jason Grilli up in the bullpen, which is goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to get him in the game.
Yeah, one more base runner, and it will be a save situation.
Ricky Weeks. 2 gone in the 9th. Inside corner strike. First multi-home run game for Gomez in his career. Unfortunately, he's been the only one. That ball is hit deep to left center. McCutchen with room. Wrong part of the ballpark. And that's how it ends today. The Brewers drop 1 to the Pirates. And still have not won back-to-back games since late April. Pirates 5, Carlos Gomez 2. As Jeff Locke goes to 5-1, the 25-year-old left-hander, defeating Mike Fiers today. Pedro Alvarez with a 2-homer game. And Pittsburgh has even the series at 1 apiece. As we check in with Craig Coshun, it's time for Brewers Live.
Okay, BA, thanks very much. We'll check